My name is Tom Yates. A few years back, I was working at a company called NovaStar. NovaStar was famous for a certain type of merchandise. I was working in the planning and development department, and I had a big problem. It was that my relationship with my wife, Megan, whom I married 2 years ago, had completely cooled off. We, who went from an office romance to marriage, were once a couple that everyone envied for a lovey-dovey relationship. I hate to brag, but we were quite the famous couple. Even the CEO knew about us. 2 years after our grand wedding, my relationship with Megan had completely chilled. Lately, we ate separately and only did our own chores. We hardly had any real conversations anymore. We were just living together, and strangers seemed to talk more than we did. If I had to pinpoint a reason, it might be because of my job. I used to work in the same HR department as Megan, but after we got married, I was the only one transferred to the planning department. The planning department was the pride of our company and crucial for its survival. Naturally, the workload increased, and working overtime became the norm. Our life rhythms diverged, and before I knew it, she started ignoring me. Megan actually wanted to move to the planning department too. But since I was the only one transferred, she looked at me with jealous eyes and ignored me for the first time, which almost made me cry. I realized things were bad, but there was nothing I could do about the transfer, though I tried to mend our relationship. I sent gifts, tried to initiate conversations, and even did her share of the chores. However, Megan just glared at me as if I were trash.
What? Are you trying to score points? Don't bother. Go to your beloved job. I would have been more suited for the planning department. It really pisses me off that it's only you,
She would say. Indeed, I love my job, and I was working hard. I wanted to be in the planning department too. But there was another big reason. I really admired the then CEO. At the orientation for new employees, the CEO would sometimes give a speech. His words and demeanor made me feel it was fate. I thought this man was someone I could follow. In the planning department, there were opportunities to present directly to the CEO, and the best project proposals might be selected for a full presentation. Being chosen wasn't easy, but if you were, you could meet the CEO, talk to him, and maybe even shake his hand. So, I was working hard with the sole aim of meeting the CEO. I knew family was important, but I couldn't miss this opportunity. The CEO was a truly perfect human, both in character and in genius creativity. The company's merchandise that he created was also top-notch. I had been a fan even before I joined the company, so being involved in its production was a real joy. Speaking of which, the merchandise was, well, adult toys. I can go into more detail, but you've probably seen them. The CEO was a top-notch pervert. If you couldn't satisfy the CEO, you couldn't sell the product. I once got a project approved and presented it to the CEO, and man, he was a serious pervert. I thought I was pretty perverted, but I couldn't hold a candle to him. But I was truly happy to have a conversation with the CEO I admired. I dreamed of the day I could talk to him again. However, tragic news soon reached me. The CEO had passed away. He was found collapsed at home by his family, and by the time they found him, it was too late. Apparently, he had died in the entryway, possibly on his way to work. The CEO used to say he wanted to die in the throes of passion. After the CEO's funeral, I was enveloped in sadness. Then, a man claiming to be the new CEO came to the company. His name was Kim Morgan. He had been working at another company, but had suddenly quit to come here. The previous CEO had left no will. It couldn't be helped, but this new CEO was a real piece of work.
everyone. I'm the CEO, so you better greet me properly. Weren't you taught to stand up and greet when the CEO arrives?
Right on his first day, he came to the planning department and said this.
The education here is lacking. What was my predecessor doing? That's why the employees are so hopeless.
Furthermore, he insulted the former CEO. Everyone in the planning department was like, huh, when they looked at the new CEO. Just like that, the new CEO, Kim Morgan, was the annoying and troublesome type. He seemed to think he could do whatever he wanted because he was the CEO, and he acted recklessly. Whenever he had some free time, he'd go bother someone, interfering with their work. Of course, his reputation in the company was the worst, and no one respected the new CEO. The CEO's duties were somehow managed by the secretary and vice president who had been appointed by the previous CEO. It seemed like the vice president was mostly doing the CEO's job. So, He was basically a CEO in name only. I even thought about quitting my job, but I had a deep attachment to this company that the first CEO had started. I had decided to dedicate myself to it until the end. However, about 6 months after the CEO change, the new CEO started picking on me.
Mr. Yates,
Yes, Mr. Morgan.
I hear your product is doing quite well.
Thanks.
No, I'm not praising you. Don't get ahead of yourself. What I mean is, anyone could have made a product like that. We wouldn't really need you, you know.
He said with a smirk. That's how the new CEO started harassing me. At first, it was just annoying interactions like that, but then he escalated to hiding important documents and unilaterally rejecting my projects that had already been approved. Other employees encouraged me, but the opponent was the CEO. Everyone was confused about what to do, and it was troubling for everyone. Feeling the difficulty of working under these conditions, I seriously started considering quitting. I owed a lot to the previous CEO, but continuing under the new CEO was becoming unbearable. I really wanted to keep working, but staying felt like it was breaking me. After much deliberation, I decided to consult with Megan. If I decided to quit, she would be the one most inconvenienced. I called Megan as she was about to go out on a day off and told her I was thinking about quitting. However, Megan casually agreed, saying,
You're not quitting. Kim also says you should quit.
Kim,
Yeah, I get along pretty well with the new CEO. We often go out to eat together. Oh, it's not cheating or anything. And you know, Kim tells me about you. And you're really incompetent, aren't you? Despite all your hard work and overtime, your plans never get approved, and you lose important documents.
The new CEO was the one who hid the documents.
Save your excuses. It's embarrassing. Kim said you're incompetent, can't even handle normal tasks, and are unnecessary for this company. He said I'd be more suited for the planning department.
She said with a grin.
Oh, and by the way, I got the divorce papers, so please fill them out later.
Divorce?
Of course, I can't continue married life with someone incompetent.
Such a sudden divorce? I can't believe it.
Stop it. It's annoying. I wish I had married someone handsome and competent like Kim. He was too competent at his previous company. They hardly let him quit. He forced his resignation, saying he would take over his father's position. But they still want him back. Someone who can work and is well liked. He's really wonderful.
And with that, Megan said she was going to meet the new CEO and left the house. After Megan left, I immediately went to the investigation office and requested an investigation. Less than a month later, the results came out, and Megan's affair with the new CEO was confirmed. Moreover, they had been sneaking out of the company to go to love hotels while they were at work. When I asked an acquaintance in HR for confirmation, it turned out that Megan had indeed been called out by the CEO and was often away from her desk for hours. Of course, she could only do her job halfway, so now she was practically a NEET in the company. Of course, the affair between the two had become a rumor, and everyone was worried about me. It was really tough on my heart. Thinking of the trouble I was causing others, I stormed into the CEO's office when he was there. As expected, Megan was there too, so I took the opportunity to show them the evidence of their affair and demanded a divorce. Of course, I also demanded alimony.
Didn't I tell you before that I would divorce you? Why are you bringing it up now? It's disgusting. Well, if you're willing to divorce, that's great. I'll pay the alimony with my dad's inheritance. If I can get a delightful wife like Megan for such a small amount, I'm lucky.
Watching the two of them flirt, I felt dizzy as if I was seeing beasts wearing human skins. I thought I couldn't take it anymore and submitted my resignation along with the divorce papers. I've reached my limit, so I'm quitting. Whatever happens, I don't care.
Don't talk so big for someone as incompetent as you.
Well, do your best with Megan. And so, I resigned and left NovaStar. After resigning, I got a job at a rival company. Years later, an unexpected development occurred. After leaving NovaStar, I found a job at a rival company called Luminous Harmony Co. Thanks to some connections, the folks at Luminous Harmony Co. warmly welcomed me, calling me a teammate. For me, exhausted from the divorce and job change, it was truly a blessing. A few years after I started working at Luminous Harmony Co., one day, suddenly, Megan and Kim Morgan showed up. I got a call from reception wondering what was going on. And when I went there, I found these two familiar faces. They looked at me with serious faces and suddenly begged on their knees.
Tom, please, come back to us. Please, Mr. Yates. NovaStar is finished without you.
I couldn't expose these two to everyone around, so I took them to an empty conference room. So, what do you want now?
So, we want you to come back, Mr. Yates.
Oh, why?
Well, that's because, Tom, you have all sorts of certifications, right? A massage therapist, lymphatic massage specialist, and other various certifications.
Well, yes. I've been attending night school and taking online courses while working. I've obtained every certification that could be useful for my job.
We've been told by other employees, no one else is as dedicated to their work. Only you would obtain all the certifications that could be used for creating new products. I knew you were busy on weekends, but I never thought you were studying for certifications.
I studied for various certifications and used that knowledge to create new products. I was often praised by colleagues and seniors that only I could come up with such ideas. Indeed, the products I planned were hits. After switching jobs, I continued to create various new products. As a result, I recently developed a best-selling product. Now, the position of Luminous Harmony Co. in the adult toy industry was unshakable.
Since you left, the other employees lost their motivation. Competent employees are quitting one after another, and only the incompetent ones with no motivation are left. I asked an employee who quit yesterday what would make him come back, and he said, if Tom comes back, I'll return too. He also said other employees who left might come back if Tom returns. That's how much you attract people. So please, Tom, come back and support NovaStar with us. We were once in love, weren't we? I'm also begging you. Right now, NovaStar is in a critical crisis. If things continue this way, bankruptcy is inevitable. Please, if Mr. Yates comes back, we can turn things around. Please, lend us your strength.
The two made a dramatic bow. Just as I was about to speak, there was a knock on the conference room door. The person who entered was a man in his mid-50s, the CEO of Luminous Harmony Co., Mr. Smith.
It seems someone is trying to poach our top earner.
With a smile, the CEO left Megan and Kim Morgan dumbfounded.
What will you do, Mr. Yates?
What do you mean? What will I do? I'm obviously going to refuse. Of course, have you forgotten what you did? You hid documents, withheld work, and senselessly crushed plans. And to top it off, a CEO took someone's wife. There's no way I'm going back to a company like that.
No, it's not like that. It was just a bit of calm, playful spirit.
Playful spirit, my foot. I unleashed my anger on the naive Megan and Kim Morgan. I don't care if NovaStar goes under or what happens to you. Sure, I feel sad because it was the first CEO who started the company, but with you as the second CEO, it's impossible. Just quietly go bankrupt and become homeless.
That's harsh, Tom.
And I still haven't received the full alimony of $50,000. By the way, could you hurry up and pay that?
I did pay it.
That was just for one person. Together, it's $100,000. It's written in the contract.
What? I don't have the money to pay the remaining $50,000.
Megan and Kim Morgan turned pale. While bowing, their faces were ashen. Then, Megan blurted out something outrageous. Surprisingly, she was pregnant. That's why she was asking me for financial help.
Please, Tom, we really don't have any money. We can't raise the baby safely like this. Just a little help, please. You're the ex-husband, after all. Isn't that the least you can do? For the sake of the child that's about to be born, please help us financially and consider transferring to our company.
Kim Morgan kept bowing deeply. Just as I was about to retort in disgust,
Enough with the noise.
the president's voice boomed through the conference room. I was taken aback by his resonant voice.
What a pathetic sight this is. You're the worst as a CEO and as a father. You can't solve your own problems and leave everything to others. Is that what an adult does? And you, Megan, was it? I've heard about what you did for Mr. Yates. And still, you have the nerve to ask for favors.
That's terrible. Me, the worst.
I knew the CEO of NovaStar, and he was a good rival. It used to be fun competing with NovaStar. Look at it now. Because of you, The company is only going downhill. No wonder you were kicked out of your previous company due to various failures.
With that, Kim Morgan's expression changed dramatically.
Why would you say that?
Your former colleagues told me everything. You were treated like a liability because you were so incompetent. But as soon as you realized you could become CEO, you ran away from the company.
Is that true, Kim? Well, that's...
Kim Morgan panicked. Seeing him like that, the CEO said,
Anyway, Mr. Yates is an important employee of our company. There's no way I'm handing someone like him over to a company run by a guy like you. Did you understand? Now please leave immediately.
Pressed by the CEO's stern words, the two fled as if escaping. After that, I never met those two again. NovaStar's performance continued to decline, and it was just waiting to go bankrupt. The employees had all but disappeared, and now there was no one left, including Megan and Kim Morgan. Megan tried desperately to create a new product that could revive the company, but all her efforts were in vain, and she only ended up increasing her debts. As a result, Megan, despite being pregnant, had no choice but to appear in adult videos, and unfortunately, she miscarried. And just the other day, I received a creepy email about it.
Kim and the child are gone. But I know there's still a red thread connecting me to you, Tom.
It was so creepy that I immediately blocked it. Rumor has it that Kim Morgan is also appearing in adult videos, but those are with other men, and it's too much for me to even want to watch. Well, if that helps them pay my alimony, then I guess that's fine.